All right, hello, and welcome to another episode of Becoming Bettina. I am your host with the most, Bettina, and this is actually me celebrating my 1 year podcast-iversary. I don't know if that sounds right because I just made that up on the spot. If I have crumbs on my face, forgive me because I literally just got off work, came straight in, and had a grilled cheese. So, this is me. This is my podcast. I actually do my podcast on Spotify. I moved to a new state, a new city, and my hope was to start doing more YouTube videos. That did not happen because I am no longer working from home. I work in a totally different place and space, and it's very overwhelming. I did not account for the exhaustion. I'm exasperated a lot. Like literally, I'm usually super tired, just needing to detox and melt down and kind of just be replenished after my day at work. So I'm here in my dining room, and the light is coming through the blind, and it's giving this really cool light effect, but it's also like freaking me out. So if you see me looking a little crazy, it's because this light in here is doing the darndest. For those of you that are new to my podcast, it is a faith-based podcast that I publish episodes on Spotify, and I just try to encourage people. I'm taking everyone through my recent self-love and healing journey. It started a year ago, March of last year. I started my podcast May of last year, and so I totally forgot that it's been a year. Like, this year has happened so fast. There's been so much that's happened, and I will catch you guys up on that. With this podcast, I just want to let you know that everyone's family here. There are no strangers. You know, I have mad love for everybody, but if me loving God offends you, I'm gonna tell you right now, prepare to be offended, okay? You're just gonna be offended. That's just what it is, because I love God muy macho. So that's not gonna change, and God has just been too good to me. He's been too good to me, too good to my family. I would not be where I am today without God. I have 3 failed suicide attempts. Not uno, dos, but tres failed suicide attempts. And he has kept me here. And because of that, I feel that I not just owe a debt because of his love and his grace towards me, but I feel that I owe someone else in a similar situation my testimony to help them, to encourage them, to uplift them, and most importantly, just to let them know that it's gonna be okay, that on the other side of this, it does get better. All right, so with all of that being said, this self-love and healing journey has been, let me use a little bit of my Spanish, has been no bueno, okay? Muy no bueno. It just has not been good. There's been so many ups and downs. Now, healing is not linear, and I say that on my actual podcast on Spotify. I let people know, hey, healing is not linear, but also healing is, there's so many intricate parts to healing, because you're embracing a new version of yourself while grieving the old you. And you do grieve the old you because you miss yourself. You miss what is familiar. That is just a natural human response to loss of any kind. You miss it. You miss that person, that place, that thing. I moved to Colorado. I took a job here. The testimony of that is actually on my Spotify. So you have to go back and listen to that. But how I end up here is really just God ordained, God approved, God allowed. And so for the most part, since I've been here, there's been so many new things, not just being in a new place and proximity to new people, but also I have started to change. I have started to come out of my shell a whole lot more because, I mean, we had COVID. I was working from home for 3 years. I wasn't interacting with anybody, and I was perfectly content because I'm a functioning introvert. I function as an extrovert, but trust me, I'm definitely an introvert. And then on top of all of that, I've been celibate for 3 years. I haven't dated. I've been single. I have not even been on a dating site. And it's just been different, you know? But I love it. I love it. It's been challenging. There's been a lot of trials. You know, the first, I want to say 5 months, disregard my neighbor's dog. My neighbor dog, let me just say this. Let me cut to this real quick. My neighbor's dog is the devil's dog, okay? It's the devil's hound. He literally is in a backyard that is fenced in like mine. It's very small, you know, because I'm in a townhome, so it's very small. I don't know what the hell he's barking at. Ain't nothing back there. There's nobody back there. But I do appreciate the fact that when he does bark, I'm alerted to anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a catch-22. It's like, shut the hell up. But I appreciate you in case there is somebody walking back there that doesn't have any business being back there. Thank you for letting me know. But yeah, he is still a little strange cookie, you know. But it's just when it's 11, 12 o'clock at night and you're barking, I'm just like, hey, whoever's out there at that time of night, just let them be. Okay? They need to be out there. So, back to this. Sorry, just he's over there barking. So the healing aspect that I've experienced, and I can only speak for me, I know that healing is not universal. So it's going to look different to everyone, and it's going to be different with everyone. So it is not a general concept. You can't all heal the same way. Now, there are some basic fundamentals that you can use to heal, but for the most part, just doesn't work that way. Still have my earbud in, my ear, whatever it's called. I'm so 80s. I'm such an 80s baby, and this whole new technology with the earbuds and everything, I just started using those. They fall out a lot. I forget to charge them. I don't always know how to pair them. I think that's what it's called, pairing it, whatever. And they just pop on when they want to pop on. But I have found a way to watch movies at work without being, okay, I just got caught today, but my supervisor, well, I got caught yesterday too. Well, I was gonna say I found a new way to watch movies at work without being caught, but I haven't gotten caught a couple times. I'm not very good at this. But the earbuds help because it conceals it, and then my hair is over my ears, and they typically don't know I'm watching a movie until they look at my desk and see my phone sitting out. But that's another story for another day. I'll tell you about that. But so back to the self-love and healing journey that I'm on. So far so good. So let me tell you, let me catch y'all up, since this is the 1 year podcast-iversary. I'm gonna keep playing with that and let it roll off the tongue, however it's gonna roll off. I don't know, because it still sounds a little weird, a little creepy, but we're gonna get it out. So I'm not dating, but I did meet someone really nice, really sweet dude. I met a really sweet guy. And I think it's me, because I'm in this new space of self-love where I don't like to say that I'm madly in love with myself, but I really am. Like, I'm so into me that I feel like Drake, you know, like I gotta watch my back because I'm not just anybody, you know, like that's how I feel. And I know that sounds really conceited, a little egotistical, but it's nothing like that. Like, if you were privy to my previous podcast on Spotify and you listen to some of the things that I've been through and the challenges, then you would know that for someone like myself that grew up feeling very much unloved and being adopted and being in a family of people with religious persecution and, you know, constantly being told you're going to hell and people keeping track of every sin that you've ever committed because they don't sin, they're perfect. They treat you like they have a heaven or hell to put you in, and you have to earn grace in this family. You have to earn love. You have to earn acceptance. You know, in order for them to do something for you, you have to be at their mercy. And I wasn't built that way. Thank God for adoption, and thank God for me having enough sense to want to put in the work to strive to break those types of generational curses, and to also create and start my own belief system of what my family should embody and look like, and also being able to perform as myself, like show up authentically as me without the fear of someone saying that I'm not good enough based on their level of what success or Christianity should look like. So thankfully, I've avoided that these past few years, and totally isolated and removed myself from my family. And just now interacting with them, like I said, I moved to a new state, I'm in a new city, and I actually got homesick when I got here. And I use that term not so loosely as you think. Like when I say I'm homesick, like I started to miss my family. I don't really consider home there with them, but I started to miss my family. I started to want to interact with them, and I felt strong enough to do so. So in finding that desire to kind of reconnect with my family, not a you know, we not like this, you know, we kick it, we talk, we say hi and bye, I'm in a family chat, but that's about it, you know, like it's not like, hey, you got an open invitation and come see me, because you don't. But I don't know, like I'm in such a good place within myself, and that is only because I've taken the steps and I've done the work necessary to rebuild, you know, to purposely be intentional about my healing. And I think that's one of the fundamentals of healing. And so for me to go out and to just date someone, I'm not able to do that. Like, it's the little things. You know, they say, stop making a big deal out of the little things. Let me just say, I'm making a big deal out of the little things. It's those same little things that have a tendency to pop back up in a relationship and be the big thing that breaks the relationship. That those tend to end up being the straw that breaks the camel's back. You understand what I'm saying? And so just early on, straight out the gate, when I'm meeting someone or interacting with the gentleman, and I can see that, you know, we're just not compatible, that, you know, you're like black pepper. I'm gonna be honest, that black pepper love is not for me. I'm just gonna tell you, it's not. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone that does not add to me. Because, you know, black pepper, let me tell you, and I know you're just like, what the heck? Metaphorically speaking, this is it. When you put black pepper in a dish, you know it's there. You can see the remnants of the pepper. You can see the little black flakes. However, black pepper, unless you add a lot of it and just like over pepper your food, it doesn't really add that much flavor. You know, just to be honest, it's not a flavorful thing. You know, it adds a little heat, a little dimension to the food, but not much. And I don't want a black pepper relationship. Now, I'm all about that black love, okay? But I just don't want a black pepper relationship. Just gonna be honest. I think, despite the fact that I don't like spice, I think I deserve spice. I think I deserve wasabi. Wasabi is spicy from start to finish. Even if you get a little bit of it, just a little bit is enough to linger, stay on your tongue, burn your tongue. Now, I don't want that ghost pepper kind of relationship. I don't want nothing that's gonna put me in the ER, okay? Because, you know, she's like, oh, she's using a lot of food analogy and spice analogies. Trust me, I know weed is legal here. I don't do it. But it's just, that's where my brain has been lately, because I met a gentleman here just recently, and he's so sweet and he's adorable. He's handsome, he's smart. He's black pepper. Like, our conversation was cool, but then I'm gonna share this with you because we family, right? You know, I don't think y'all gonna tell nobody. So we're, you know, chatting and everything. And so he ended up coming into my building. He was lost. He was looking for the new hire training. well, for a training. I'm not gonna say new hire because he already works for the VA. And so I tell him where it is and everything, and he bypasses a whole nother desk with two other reps that are sitting at the desk to come to mine. And I'm like, okay, how did he get here? You know, I was like, Deborah Cox, how did you get here? And I'm sleep deprived. So when I break out a song like that, just know that I am overly tired. And I had a little bit of sugar. Did I have a lot of bit of I had a lot of bit of sugar, so I'm gonna break out in song. But that's typically kind of my norm anyway. So he comes up to the desk and he's just like, hey, he pulls down his mask and instantly I'm like, okay, how you doing? How can I help you? You know, I'm on my Chick-fil-A customer service at this point because I'm like, okay, is this my gift? Lord, is it my birthday? And so he's really, like I said, he's really sweet. He's mannerable, you know, and I assist him and I tell him, hey, you know, you're in the wrong place. You need to go up to the second floor, but this is what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna go ahead and message your manager because I know who she is. I'm gonna message your trainer, let her know you're down here with me, you just got lost, so that they won't think that, you know, like you're just running late, you know, that you're late or deem you as being late. So I get him upstairs, get him help, all that good stuff. And so we're just messaging throughout the day and the conversation is going really swell. I'm gonna be honest, it's a swell conversation and I'm digging him. Again, black pepper. So he's safe, he's comfortable, you know, he doesn't say anything out of turn. I expressed to him, you know, about my singleness, about me being celibate for these 3 years. And, you know, he mentions that they're good men. His response was that there are good men, but you have to understand that not every man is going to want to wait. I understand that, hence the 3 years of celibacy. So I'm waiting. I'm not worried about someone else because whoever I get with, we will have that conversation in depth about the length in which they're willing to wait for me to decide if I no longer want to be celibate. However, he brought it up. I respected his point of view. Nothing out of turn. He didn't say it in a rude manner. So we continue to talk and, you know, I'm thinking, okay, this is a dude, he's on point to make some plans. He's like, you know, we can go to paint with a twist. And he's just like, we just got to set up a day. And he's not in my city. He's in a neighboring city. He's like, so whatever day we decide on, he's like, I'll make the appropriate plans to stay over here so I don't have to make that long commute. I'm like, cool. And then he busts out with, just so you know. Now, typically, a just so you know to me is not some, I'm not gonna say it's a red flag. So before you come at me and be like, well, you just jumped the gun on that boy, you didn't even give him a chance. When someone comes into a conversation very early on with a just so you know, which I don't know you, and we are just starting to know one another and, you know, communicate with one another and engage with one another. So when they usually throw that out, it's typically not a good thing. You know, it's like, just so you know, I just got out of a real bad relationship. Just so you know, I you know, been hurt, so I may be triggered. You know, I don't, that just so you know kind of, it just like rubs me a little indifferently. So he hit me with the just so you know, and he's like, I have a lot of friends. You know, and that friend should have been in quotes because he was speaking from the perspective of female or women friends, lady friends. And I'm like, you know, I expect nothing less. I'm like, you're single, you're charming. I expect you to, you know, talk to other people. I mean, I just started talking to you. So, but it sat with me for a while. And I'm like, again, I be on my Drake. I'm like, I gotta watch my back. I'm not just anybody. Am I ready to invite that type of energy? You know, you have this energy from these other people, and that is something that I would have to entertain. I'm not a competitor. I'm not gonna compete with you, with another woman for your affections, your attention, or any of that. I don't need to. I give myself enough attention and affection. So I'm like, am I even ready for something of that nature? You know, and it's not that I just want someone that's where I am, but I'm like, I believe in the equality of a relationship. Like, I want us to be equal and mutual, you know? So it's like, I talk to different people. I have male friends or associates that I message from time to time that reach out to me and say, hey, I appreciate your videos. By the way, I do videos on Instagram and TikTok as well. They're motivational videos, courtesy of my former mental health coach who encouraged me to start doing these 1-minute videos to encourage people. And I've just been doing it for about a year now as well. So if you want to ever look me up, you can also go to Becoming Bettina, Becoming_Bettina on TikTok or Instagram, and you will see my videos. So just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you. And so, like I said, I respect where a person is, because that's one thing that I say. You have to meet people where they are, as they are. You know what I mean? And so I wasn't upset by that, but it just kept playing in my head, which means that it was resonating in my spirit in a way that I wasn't ready to receive. And that let me know that, okay, I don't need to go any further with this gentleman, because he didn't say that I needed to compete. He didn't say that he didn't want to go out with me. He didn't say that I was going to have to wait to hear from him because he's messaging. All I know is that my preference for me, because I am spending so much time with myself, is I would prefer someone who's putting work into themselves. I would prefer someone who isn't for everybody. I just, it's a thing that I've had since I was a kid. I don't like super friendly dudes. And I've never trusted them. And again, if you go to my Spotify and you listen to some episodes, you'll know about the sexual abuse that I suffered as a child at an early age, at the age of 3. And so that is my reasoning. And I'm not to project that onto this young man, because he doesn't deserve that. I would never say, you know, well, he too friendly and I ain't for that. No, it's not even that. It's just, for the most part, I just said, you know, let me be honest with where I am. Let me be honest with who I am. I'm not going to start out in a situation settling. And I immediately felt like I would be settling to continue with this gentleman. Now, flip side of that is, I saw him today. And I didn't speak. I pretended like I didn't see him. But I do that. That's just my thing. That is my defense mechanism, because I didn't want to make him be uncomfortable and feel like he had to say anything. And then I didn't want to feel like I had to speak to him. I'm just going to be honest. I was like, dude, I done already crossed you off my list. You good? You know, we just can pretend like this never happened. And I'm usually that person. It doesn't matter who you are. If we part ways, depending on how we part, I believe in giving you that respect and the decency to not be in your face and be like, hey, where you been, stranger? Hey, I don't hate stranger people. I really don't. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't follow up with people. I feel like whatever's going on in your life, whatever you're doing, whatever reason we're no longer associating, then that's just the way that the divine set it in place. And it was meant and purpose for such. Just like our meeting was purpose, so is our parting. And it may be sweet sorrow, like Shakespeare says, parting is such sweet sorrow. However, you know, I'm like, hey, I never seen you before. I'm the queen of being good with goodbyes. And if I'm out in public, I'm just like, it's not to hurt your feelings. It is to give you the respect of living your life as you've chosen to live it, which is without me and without associating with me. And I'm gonna do the same. I'm not gonna pick up where we left off. I'm not gonna jump in your face and be like, I was just thinking about you. And no, I don't know you. I've never seen you before. And so that's how I proceeded with this guy. And I feel really bad a little bit, because he was kind of lingering and waiting, and I was lingering and holding back. So he could go ahead and do what he was doing and get to where he was going so that I could pass, because I'm like, I'm gonna wait till he goes in that office before I come over there, because I'm already on his floor and I didn't expect to see him. And I'm like, you know, dang, like I wish he hurried and go up in the room, and he kept like stalling, like he was just doing little stuff. And I was just like, man, like I don't want to have to pass him and speak to him. And and I know it sounds worse than what it is. Don't judge me. I'm still healing. I'm still a work in progress. This is still my self-love and healing journey. But here's my thing. As I am so recently making myself available, because I am putting myself out there, but just not in a way to where I'm available for everybody and every energy and every spirit and every conversation and every hello beautiful. It don't do nothing for me. And I hate to hit dudes up with, but I got a mirror, you're not telling me anything new. It's more so of, you know, pretty is as pretty does, so I'm pretty just because. I mean, I really feel like, you know, it's my inner beauty. And if you miss that, you miss the whole essence of who I am. If you miss that. Because this ain't it. Like, I have a really dope heart. I'm a really dope individual. And I have to start giving myself credit. Like, I'm starting to give myself credit. And as I'm doing that, as I'm recognizing all these truths about myself, all of these things that I neglected to give myself credit for, or to at least just sit back and pat myself on the back and be like, dang, you're pretty fire. You know, you're pretty dope at what you do. You're pretty, you know, genuine person. You know, you're authentic and intentional and motivating, and you know, you love on people, you know, sometimes too much. You know, I have to pull back sometimes. I have to make sure that I balance that love, because if you pour too much into a cup, it overflows, but not necessarily with everything that's good. Because I don't want to empty myself. When I talk about people about self-love, and this is one of the things I'm going to share with you before I wrap this up. When I talk to anyone about their self-love, I tell them it's like putting money in the bank. If you only have $100 and someone hits you up and says, hey, you know, I love you and I really need this and I need you to give me this 100 and I'll get it back to you when I can, or I'll get it back to you tomorrow, and you give them the 100, you are left with 0. So when somebody says, I'm gonna give you 110% of myself, I'm not gonna give you all. Because if I'm running on 100, that's all I got, and I give you that 100, then that means I'm now at 0, that I am now at a 0 balance. And if I don't have the 100 and I overdraft to give you that 100, to make sure that you're good, and I know I'm talking money, but I want you to follow me here. If I overdraft, if I still pull from me and take away from me to give you what I do not have, I am now in overdraft. And that's how people become overwhelmed. That's how people become overly depressed, overly anxious. That's how people become over the relationships, because they're giving so much of themselves and they have nothing left, because they keep saying, I'm giving 100%. I'm giving 100% of myself and I'm pouring. No. You're going to get a percentage. Now, keep in mind, if I'm going and I'm hitting that 300, 400, and you say you need 100, I can spare that, because that's only a percentage of what I already have. I can spare giving you 100% at that point, but I'm not going to give you all. I'm not going to give you all of me, because I deserve all of me, but I will give you a portion. Now, will I share all of myself with you? Absolutely. And by that, and I know you're thinking, oh, she just contradicted herself. Hold up. Okay. Hold up, nagging Nancy. I will share 100% of myself, meaning that I will share every dimension of me with you. Yes, I will share it with you. You can come here and enjoy happy Bettina, sassy Bettina, goofy Bettina, which is probably 76% of who I am. Nerdy Bettina that watches anime, watches cartoons with her kids, that's a Trekkie, live long, prosper, all that. So I will share those. I will share all of that with you. But as far as giving you all of, I can't. Because then I would be left with nothing. And that's where I started. I started with zero. I had to fill my own cup up. I started with nothing. I had to fill my own cup up. If you are ever in Denver, Colorado, and you see me in a little red van driving with my Texas plates, I promise you, if you ever see me, you will see me doing one of two things. Talking, see my mouth moving, I'm usually praying or talking to God. Or two, you will see me singing and dancing. That is my way of making sure that I stay me. Because when you become a mother, a girlfriend, an employee, you start work, you lose so much of yourself into these different titles and positions and places. And this is me getting back to me. I love music, I love to sing, I love to dance. Yes, I dance, big girls dance. And yes, I have rhythm and I'm cute. But I show out in the car. I have a whole concert in the car. I feel bad for the people that are not in the car with me. And then on the flip side of that, I'm also praying. I'm in the car, I'm praying for friends. Friends that don't even know I still pray for them. Friends that don't even hear from me, I'm praying for them. I'm praying for my family that does not talk to me. I am praying for my enemies, even though they annoy the heck out of me and them swamp creatures need their butts popped. I still pray for them. Pray over my circumstances, my babies, my finances, my spirit, where God has taken me. I put all of that into perspective and I just give it to him. And so we have this whole dialogue while I'm going to work and I'm just going on faith. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going by faith and that's all I can do. But that's a part of this healing and self-love journey. Like I said, it's not linear. There's so many dimensions and intricate details into how this culminates into me completely becoming the best version of myself, which I eventually will. But I'm not becoming the best version of Bettina for anybody else. I'm not becoming the best version of Bettina for a husband. I'm not becoming the best version of Bettina for my children. I'm not becoming the best version of Bettina for my grandbaby Xavier, who I love and I miss him. But I'm becoming the best version of Bettina for Bettina. And everything else will fall into place. All of that love that I pour into me on a daily basis, all of that intentional love and effort, all of that authenticity and vulnerability and honesty and the openness that I have, all of that fills my cup to the point that it will overflow into every area and aspect of my life. But I have to start here. So I'm sharing this with you again because this is my 1-year podcast-iversary. So I think if I say a little faster, it sounds better, but we still working on it. So maybe this time next year, I'll have a different way of saying it, but I want to leave you with this gem. 1, my husband is here. I don't know that for sure, but I feel like my husband is here in Colorado somewhere, and I feel like he's seen me. He just needs to come find me before it starts to snow again because the weather here is frightful, okay? I don't care nothing about those winter songs. The weather here is frightful. Inside is definitely delightful because I keep it warm here because it's so freaking cold, but I want a husband, not just so he can drive me to work and I don't have to drive in the snow. Kind of mainly because I want him to drive me to work. I don't want to drive. But I want partnership. I'm ready for companionship. The celibacy is wearing on me a little bit. Let me just put that out in the atmosphere. I'm gonna be honest. It's taking a toll on you, girl. Because, I'm still fine. I'm still cute. So it's like, whew, you know, I may just, no, I'm not gonna, I was gonna say, I may just get me somebody to, you know, give me a mechanic, you know, give me a tune-up every now and then. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna settle. It's hard, but I'm not gonna settle. But we'll see. Now, should that happen, I will be honest about it. But, you know, in the meantime, in between time, I'm sticking to my guns. You know, I'm good here. I'm very good over here. But I've just been thinking about it. Either that, I'm gonna take up drinking. One or the other. We'll see. But I did want to leave you with this. Like I said, I want to leave you with a few gems. Number one, in your self-love and healing journey, understand that you are priority. Understand that the priority is you. It's always got to be you. You cannot make someone else the priority, because I promise you, once you do that, once you give away that power, that's it. It'll be a ripple effect. If you're a person that has dealt with neglect and rejection and being overlooked and having people basically treat you like a doormat, and once you go back into that cycle, once you say, okay, I found someone and they're great, and I'm gonna do everything to keep, no. You still make you the priority. Everything else will fall into place, but you gotta trust the process. Okay? Don't go back to those old habits. Okay? Secondly, I want to encourage you to not be afraid to wait. Waiting sucks, but wait. Wait for what you deserve. Wait in your healing to get to the next step of who you are. I know sometimes you're in a hurry. You're like, you know, I'm tired of making these mistakes. I'm tired of doing the same thing over and over again. I'm tired of, just wait. It's okay. Rome was not built in a day. All right, baby doll? Rome was not built in a day, and neither will you be. Each brick, each effort, each trial, each time you get up and you pour intentionally into yourself, you are building you, a new version of you. And then you're also releasing the old. It's a process. It is a process. And it's not easy, but you got this, okay? 3, put God first. And let me say this, whatever God you believe in, whatever you believe in, make that a priority. If it's astrology, if you're into tarot, if you're into the moon god, whatever, girl, if you just believe in the God of water, I don't care. Make that the first thing. You want to make sure that God is at the forefront, that he is guiding your steps and leading you. You say, order my steps in your word, dear Lord. And that is, take me step by step. It's not just put my steps in order, but take me step by step. I don't want to miss a step. I don't want to skip over something and have to go back and repeat it. I spent most of my life doing that. So let your steps be ordered. Take your time, step by step. That's why waiting is important. And as you are going through the process, give yourself credit for where you are now. You're not where you were yesterday, and that's okay. You're not as far as you thought you would be by now, and that's okay too. And maybe you just didn't take any steps today. Maybe you were just still. And being still, instead of you doing things on your own and jumping out there trying to make something happen, being still is still progress. Because a rocking chair moving back and forth don't go anywhere. Sorry about that. But a rocking chair going back and forth doesn't go anywhere. It's moving, but it doesn't go anywhere. So you can still be still. You can be just where you are. And as long as you're not reverting back to the old patterns and habits, then you're still making progress. And let me say this. Give thyself grace. It's nobody else's responsibility. Give you grace. You've earned it. That's it. That's the message. I just want you guys to know that I appreciate those that have been rocking with me on my podcast from the very beginning. Any new followers, any new people that listen to my podcast, I very much love and appreciate you as well. Just know that I love you to life. I love you for real, and I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you just gotta suck it up, buttercup, because I'm still gonna love you to my, okay? That was English. I know a lot of y'all probably didn't understand that, but I'm gonna love you tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, because that's how I'm loving me. All right? So, that's it. That's the message. I want you all to be blessed, and shalom.